All right, then this panel we talk about explore how much blockchain is transforming creative industries from art to music and gaming. And panelists will discuss NFTs, digital ownership, and also decentralized platforms as tools for monetization and audience engagement, highlight opportunities and challenges for Southeast Asian artists in a global market. And to lead or moderate this panel session, I will call the moderator Malcolm Chang. Malcolm Chang, with 8 years of experience in Web3, primarily focused on GameFi, Malcolm was previously at Wimix, the fourth largest listed gaming company in Korea, and known for Web3 hits like Mir 4 and Night Cross. Now at Immutable, the largest gaming ecosystem in Web3, Malcolm's role is to expand Immutable reach across Southeast Asia and showcase the unique talent and potential of the region. And this is, please welcome Mr. Malcolm Chang.
All right, testing, testing. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last talk of the day. Thank you very much all for staying until the very end. It means a lot to me and my panelists. And yeah, I hope you guys have been having an exciting day. I think Indonesian Blockchain Week obviously has been a really fun event. Really love the conversations, especially the meme coin one last now. Very exciting. So before I introduce the speakers, maybe I'll just talk a little bit more about what the panel today is going to be about. So the panel session will delve into the role of blockchain technology in revolutionizing the creative industries, from visual arts to music, and most importantly, gaming. Panelists will share insights into how NFTs and decentralized platforms enable new ways for creators to monetize and engage with audiences. Topics will include the role of digital ownership, the impact of NFTs on cultural expressions, and the potential for blockchain to support Southeast Asian artists on a global stage. Panelists will explore both the unique opportunities and challenges presented by blockchain in creative sectors, focusing on art, community engagement, and the evolving market landscape. All right. Maybe I'll just introduce the panels one by one, and we can get started. So, all right. First, there's no slide? Okay. First, we have Antonny Liem. Please give it up for him. With over 25 years of experience in technology, investments, and marketing, Antonny has played a pivotal role in Indonesia's startup ecosystem. He has helped startups grow successfully M&A exits and align their vision with investor goals. His Web3 portfolio spans blockchain projects, protocols, NFTs, and exchanges. Next up, we have Diaa Allam. He is renowned for revolutionizing the ancient art form, seamlessly blending traditional techniques with innovative approach to bridge history and the future. His breathtaking artwork has been showcased at prestigious global events, and he was recently nominated by UNESCO and Dubai Culture as a laureate of the prestigious 20th edition of the UNESCO Sharjah Prize. Next up, we have Jagad Marcelleno. Jagad is a serial entrepreneur and influential figure in the creative marketing industry and Web3 sectors. He started with an artist management agency, later leading key projects in the creative industries in 2021. He co-founded Mycelium Network and became a passionate advocate for sustainability and climate action. And finally, last but not least, we have Daniel Wijaya, a lifelong gamer turned indie game developer in 2016, gained recognition with The Reverend Prince on Steam in 2022. He co-founded CREO Engine, pioneering blockchain integration in gaming and blending Web2 gameplay with Web3 mechanisms to transform the industry. Please give it up for our panelists today. Hi guys. All right, it's going to be exciting. So we're going to have a few questions that we have for our panelists, all talking about, NFT, digitalization, and a lot to do with how blockchain technology has actually enabled all these cool things to happen, all right, on-chain. So Maybe before I start, I think it's very important to understand the context from the panelists, right? Technology is one part of the conversation today, but what we really want to talk, we also want to know about what inspires our panelists to do what they do. Because anything you do with creativity and art comes from the heart, right? It comes from passion. You do it because something in you tells you you need to do it. It may not always make sense, and it may not always be easy, but it kind of what drives us, all of us, to do what we love. So maybe starting with Anthony, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what inspires you to do what you do, what makes you excited about your job.
Oh, so there's a big questions, but yeah, I saw they wrote 25 years. That makes me feel really quite old now. But yeah, I existed from Web 1.0 maybe. So obviously it's exciting to see how web grows, right? All the technology and whatnot. And what we do in GDP Venture is we're actually a venture builder. We operate and also we invest. We've been investing in Web3 actually quite early. We invest in projects, we invest in exchanges, in tokens and whatnot. We have not yet invested in NFT per se, because NFT, as you know, is, the previous panel was like, 2021 was the NFT super cycle. Now it's a meme coin super cycle. So it's a bit, but me, myself, I do own a bit of NFT because I'm a small, I like, affordable arts in the real world. So I do like new artists and whatnot. And when this new so-called platform comes up, which is obviously with all the promises and all the advances, then I delve into NFT, and I love to see the applications, not only on art form, but also obviously in games and in other stuff. So it's very exciting. It's always exciting. Again, from a guy who's been following technology in the world for quite a while, it's exciting to see where this will bring us to. Yeah, that's why it keeps me really. You never get tired, right? You have to learn all the time with Web3. You cannot look away.
Yeah, I totally agree. 25 years is a long time, but it's very important, right? I mean, like when it comes to like looking at new technology growth, I think that's what excites me personally. Like in Web3, things are always changing, and you can always learn something new. So I think that's the fun part. Next, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about your inspiration. I think what you do is very interesting, very cool. Tell us more.
So basically, my work, I do Arabic calligraphy, and like I blend between the traditional Arabic and the contemporary style and the modern style. So for me, I always believe that technology is a very huge part of delivering my message to the audience, and especially with the new generation as well. So when I was introduced first time to NFTs, I felt that it's inevitable to have my art as NFTs. The question was when, and so I started immediately getting like understanding more about the NFTs, and I started developing my own collections with NFTs. All the collections that I released was personal, like my own minting, and I felt that we need more of this. We need more of adaptation to art. The technology is big. It's more about the long term than just like releasing something that is just like for a quick selling or something. Because I believe that the NFT technology it's very reliable in the idea of preserving your right as a creator on the web. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish more like artists would follow your footsteps. I think a lot of people who do creatives are usually always, they are very creative people who are trying to create new art and new styles. And I think embracing technology can also be part of that creative process. So I think what you're doing is very cool. I wish we could show some of your artwork on stage, on the slides. But if you guys are free, please go and check out his art. His calligraphy is really very cool. Moving to Jagad, maybe you can tell us a little bit more what inspires you on a day-to-day, why Mycelium, what's so cool, and what drives you forward.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So basically I was graduated from a business school, and it's kind of like boring, and then I got my thesis into contemporary art because economic studies, it's kind of like boring, right? So I got into contemporary art because it's enabling me to learn about history philosophy as well as the, the creative mind of these different kind of artists, right? And I think like my work has been revolving around branding, art, and marketing as well. It's kind of fun. I got the chance to meet a lot of like good people, weird people as well, right? And until 2021, during the NFT craze, I got into crypto, right? My first NFT was minted basically in Tezos, because back then all of these ETH NFTs, like, what the hell is wrong with this? All of these apes and pixelated pictures. What's the? How do you able to, calculate or maybe like justify this thing should be like, I don't know, BAYC back then was, I don't know, hundreds ETH, right? And coming from the physical art, it's kind of like very hard to gauge and to understand. And I just realized that you need to have like different optics or glasses to verify all of these things, right? So in Tezos back then, if you guys know Hiket Nang or maybe like Object, the NFTs were more to like the individual artists and more experimental rather than, the PFPs and all of these apes and etc. Right? And then I'm falling in love into like digital art and something. But then all of this NFT projects. So I was created my own NFT project. It's called Mind Blown Universe. It was minted back in 2022, and it's very hard for us to actually like survive and create this, a sustainable revenue from this project, right? And by saying NFT project alone, I think it's already wrong, because NFTs is only the back-end technology. People don't need to know about the NFTs. It's just like saying like, if you're a musician, you're not saying that you're selling your MP3 projects, right? It's only a format. When you're a musician, you're gonna say that, okay, I'm creating my own music. I'm creating my own album, not the MP3 format, right? And I think for the NFT nowadays, you need to leverage into an IP business. You can see like Pudgy Penguins, right? With all of this, they're making money out of the real world, becoming like an IP. Even like for the normies and the Web2 people started to, having like this sticker Giphy without knowing that it is actually like an NFT project. And then last year, and Mycelium as well was, back then was top 100 global artists, crypto artists. And then he got this incident, right? Because he used to call himself as a meta artist, and to create this one artwork, it was contributed by 20 different people. And all of these people are chopping all of different kind of art from the internet, but there's no right attribution to all of these things that has been taken, right? So in the age of AI and where everything chopping images from the internet, it's very hard for you to get the right attribution. Let's say like Pepe. Not many people knows that Pepe was created by Matt Fury, the original artist. He doesn't get much of the proper credits. And when all of these people making Pepe as a derivative, there's no financial value that is given to the original artist. So Mycelium is trying to solve that problem. So we're enabling people, we help people to make their IP on-chain famous. The first step is to put your IP on-chain. And all this licensing process will be streamlined. So I think, yeah, that's
That's amazing. And for me, coming at Immutable, we love NFTs, we love IPs. I think that's something definitely that's missing. It's a huge missing link within what we are doing in this on-chain space. So definitely interesting. And for all you content creators out there, Mycelium, please check it out. It's very cool. Lastly, Darrel, every game developer I spoke to say that making games is one of the hardest things to do in the world. It's risky, it's tough, you never know how the consumer or the players are going to like your game. Tell us a little bit more what inspired you to become a game creator.
Hey guys, yeah, so what primarily inspired me to be a game creator is because I always loved storytelling. I love telling stories, I grew up with stories, and I thought it could be a profitable business, especially, games in the market. They're pretty profitable stuff, I think the metrics don't lie, the numbers are pretty good, right? Gaming could be, a superpower, especially mobile gaming. It's great, and there are a lot of talented developers in the country that develop games, so I thought I might as well do it. I'm an avid gamer. I think every gaming company founder is an avid gamer, so I pretty much love games. But I also got into crypto because I realized that there are a lot of third-party sites that sell Web 2 assets, accounts, cosmetics, and I figured that could we do something a lot better, a lot more secure, right? Could I do or create something that people could trade these commodities and do a business with it through secure infrastructures, which we know as blockchain, right? So I figured that I'd venture into this industry, try it out, put my, I'm not that great of a developer, not now. I mean, I'm still learning. There are plenty of developers in the country that are, a lot better, a lot brighter than I am. I look up to them with the utmost respect, I think. And I hope that, I could bring welfare, especially to people that are unbanked, that have no resources for financial help. GameFi could be a way of life for many. So I figured that I'd give it a shot. I'd give it a shot and, create a business built on blockchain, as a foundation and, tackle GameFi with, full intentions to give welfare and, benefits to people and to gamers in the country. So yeah, that's my inspiration. That's why I'm here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I think we do have a lot in common. You love games and crypto. I think that's kind of me as well. And I think that gaming, like what you say, gaming is actually a really, really good way of getting people to understand blockchain technology without even realizing they are touching crypto, right? Things like these days we have account abstraction. We have a lot of ways to reward users without them having to fiddle around or fumble with all of the complexities of Web3. I think that is the right way forward in terms of adoption. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing your inspirations. I think that's really, really important, and I think the audience was delighted to kind of hear what drives you on a day-to-day. Now we can get into the questions. Maybe starting with Diaa, I would love to ask you, as a trailblazer in Arabic NFT calligraphy, how has blockchain enabled you to bring your art to a wider audience, and how has it impacted your engagement with cultural heritage in digital spaces?
So as I mentioned before, felt like technology is very important part of it's very important element as in the generation that we live in, the time that we live in. So I believe that integrating the technology is very important for the art to reach the wider audience. Blending things together, I always say blending things together, it's part of the creative process. So for me, it's creativity is like a blender. You blend two ideas together, and then your mix has to taste good for the audience. So for me, was mixing the technology with my art is a challenge, and at the same time is an opportunity. So I started experiencing this in 2021, and I had my own collections, and I was also I got into collecting as well. So I was also checking different projects and NFT projects, and to understand more. I want to get into the game in both ways, and it helped me, and I found that I'm reaching out to more audience, to more people that interested in the blockchain, interested in crypto, interested in the NFTs, and I was able to spread my art, and this my passion in general. So I was happy to see this.
Love it. Passion, very, very important part of the business. Moving on to Antonny, I'd like to ask you from an investment perspective, both institutional and personal. What are your thoughts on art NFTs? Do you see inherent value compared to traditional art?
That's a great question. Even on the real world art, right? As you know, real world art, the value of art is based on the market, the supply, demand, and the strike price, so-called. You could go at Sotheby's and all the other places and see arts being sold at millions, new records this year, right? And that alone is also something that on a treasury, on a balance book, could be something. But that has more history. So you could sort of look at the whole trajectory. But for digital art, because of the speed of the movement, especially the devaluation of it, which is a bit scary, right? For real art, at least you could see that, yes, this sort of art it has been sold, these times and from this artist or whatever, and so the price is sort of there. But I think one of the challenge with Web3 or crypto or NFT is that obviously the volatility of it is still there. So it's become quite a challenge for certain institutions to actually look at it as investments, because then what about the develop if it developed very fast, like what happened with the NFT from the 2021 cycle, sort of. I guess it will normalize moving towards the future with the more real case and more understanding and more mass adoptions. Then I guess people going into it will not be driven so much on speculations, the pump and dump or whatever. And I really like what Jagad said about art, digital art versus PFP or whatnot. I mean, arguably everything is art, but then me personally, the NFT I collect is mostly art. Like, at least for me, it's art, meaning, like the Tezos, we support a lot of local artists, Indonesian artists with Tezos because it's cheaper than Ethereum, that is one. But there's just a lot of, like digital artists, they do their digital work and then they mint it and I like those kind of things compared to almost like the blind boxes where you buy the gacha and then you hopefully you get the rarest one and then you jump into the game a bit late and you buy it for 100 ETH and then it goes down to 2 ETH sort of thing. So that's why it's a bit hard to look at it as an investments. But if you could look at it as a quick trading, maybe that is still something. But you have to be careful.
Yeah, I think it's about balancing, kind of like the value and the liquidity. I think Web3 definitely offers a lot of liquidity, which is fun, which is great. Also helps to, make sure authenticity. I think that's also good. But yeah, when it comes to how do we preserve the value of the NFT, especially when it's kind of just online pixels, can be a bit confusing. So we're still trying to see what's the best model for that, I guess. Moving on to Jagad, I just want to ask, Mycelium aims to empower creatives through its UCG tools that empowers creators and brands. How do NFTs play a key role in enabling this?
Yeah. Actually, what I'm building is this platform won't be there without NFTs, right? But as I'm saying, as I mentioned before, people don't need to know that it is an NFT because what we're building is beyond the Web3 project. So our platform can be used by digital artists, conventional artists, Web2 companies. We just secured a deal with FMCG in Malaysia to engage their campaign with their mascot, with their IP, and then Web3 projects in any kind of chain, right? But we call it as an IP, intellectual property asset. So the technology behind is basically ERC 6551. So it enables you to store another NFTs. But in this case, we use other NFTs as the documents, because NFTs today, it's kind of like static instead of dynamics, right? So in these NFTs, it enables you to have the legal documents, the licensing module, the royalty module, as well as different kind of asset of the NFT itself. Let's say if I have like this, let's say like Bored Ape character, right? Or maybe like Pudgy Penguins. So there will be different kind of poses in one NFTs with the legal documents, with the royalty module, with the licensing module. Let's say I'm someone famous with my own Pudgy Penguins, or maybe like Bored Ape, or maybe like Azuki. It's enabling my super fans or my community or other people to license my PFP to create their own project. Let's say they want to create my PFP as another NFT projects, meme tokens, merchandises in just one click away with the digital licensing stuff.
Yeah, very, very cool. And I think that's like really, really important for content creators because I think they don't receive enough protection. Like IPs can be very confusing and it's not easy to launch your own IP or even to protect your own IP. And I think that's why these like safeguards are here, right? Okay, cool. Moving on to Javier. CREO aims to be a platform of NFT gaming. What interesting innovations have you seen in the NFT game space for now?
IMX is a great example. Zero proof, zero permissionless gaming. It's the future, right? I believe that a lot of big companies will utilize permissionless gaming or permissionless contracts so that every asset is on chain and you could practically transfer these assets at a whim, right? I know it's a bit different from conventional Web 2 practices. Well, with permissionless gaming, you could transfer assets and, it's yours. It's your legacy. Unfortunately, at this current point, GameFi is at a tipping point where it's either a yes or no, right, when it comes to whether or not people will accept it. But games like Off the Grid, good example of, invisible blockchain, right? People play the game they enjoyed, they mint assets, and they could sell in the marketplace for good money. So in time, these technologies will become commonplace, where the average kid living in rural areas could make millions, maybe thousands of dollars selling commodities in-game without having to go through a third party. They do it in-game mutually, right, and instantly. Compared to a long time ago, I think a game called Rohan, like in 2002, had a marketplace for accounts. And it did pretty well, right? I bought a few accounts there for a couple million rupiah. It was very nice, right, when I was a kid. And now it takes time. Right? It takes a lot of time to transact. It takes hours. But now with these technologies coming to place, people could sell assets instantly, right? They could sell it, they own it, and it will be visible in game for them to use. And it's immutable. That's good branding, by the way, on the name Immutable. It's great stuff. So we at CREO Engine, we're building marketplaces where we could facilitate these things with our own protocols, our own technologies, right? So people could sell assets and do business with it, right? We want people to find a way of life through GameFi. It may not always be perfect, but case studies like Axie did it pretty well. They did amazing, and they make millions of dollars. Their revenue is, is ungodly. I think it was 4 million a week. It's pretty good money, right? I think Weemix made $500 million a year. The money's pretty good. There's a demand for it, right? Either Web3 could be a spur to increase Web2 transactions or Web2 purchases, or vice versa, right? But there'll come a time when technology overtakes the norm, and people will adopt it. And now people make a living off of it, and we want to see adoption at great speed. So now people can embrace it, can embrace this industry, GameFi as a whole, and they could do good with it, Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy to announce that CREO and Immutable, we're going to be working together. So I hope to bring you some cool stuff in the future. I think that I really like your analysis about how permissionless gaming is becoming more and more popular. I do see that in the space. And I think that's the whole point of blockchain, is to actually just make things as transparent as possible. And I think gaming is due for evolution. We've been doing this gaming the same way for a long time. So yeah, it's very cool. Thank you for sharing. Maybe going back to Diaa, just a question in terms of what do you see as the future of NFTs in supporting cultural and artistic expressions? Are there unique ways that blockchain can help preserve and celebrate diverse cultural identities globally?
I think this is a very, very important question and very good one, because a lot of people, sometimes they forget that NFT is just like a technology, is a tool. So for a creator, for a content creator in general, with what's happening with the AI and all of this technology that's coming, I think that is tracing back to the original like creator of an item digitally is very important. So the idea of NFTs, people they can say, it's just a hype and it will die. I believe that it's a very important for content creator in general, because in the future people will need to identify and trace their online creation in so many ways. The same way that now when you see for YouTube, like creators, for example, you can see like someone who's using other people videos, and then they can, the original creator can claim part of the monetized content. So basically this is exactly what's supposed to be for building, for delivering something from your culture and delivering something like it's unique and it has your own IP on it. It's very important to adapt the technology of using the NFT and the blockchain, and it will help for the future to preserve what you are creating on the web. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it will last forever. Right? I think that's a cool thing about everything we put on the blockchain. That's the whole basis of blockchain, is that things will not disappear suddenly, right? And I think that's really cool. And I think that's a very, very interesting way of preserving cultures and, as you said, like royalties, and making sure the content creators receive the correct amount of rewards and the correct kind of like celebrations that they have, of the stuff that they created. For Anthony, within gaming, so something related to what we are interested, me and Darrel and everybody here is interested in. Within gaming, we see a lot of NFTs usage from in-game assets, land, etc. What unique innovations have you seen in the market regarding that?
To be totally honest, I have not seen much. I mean, we just starting a new cycle. So I just log in after a while back to it. But I will say that like just like one major theme here is that we all agree that technology should be under the back, right? We should not keep speaking about NFT, blockchain, whatever to the users. This should be the use case. So especially gaming, I think one of the issue about I'm a gamer myself. Now I'm playing Wukong, trying to finish Wukong, right? But yeah, I'm gamer since very long time. So my point is that one of the issue with Web3 blockchain gaming, as you guys will know, is that again the motivation was wrong. 2021 cycle, I guess, was driven by a lot of greed. It still have a lot of greed now, but a lot more sanity because of the use case technology. So but a lot of the game projects were not built by gamers, and so you have these gamers like myself who has played games since forever, and then you have this so-called Web3 game, which it's not playable. It's not even a game, right? So that issues, and then obviously then we talk about inclusivity, and we have some, without naming names, there's some good projects, but those are not for gamers. So I think it's changing now, right? It's getting closer. One example is like Confliction Lab with Riftstorm. So Confliction is part of Agate, which is obviously a game studio. So having a real game studio, creating real game with all the game design, playable games, and have that technology in the back will be the best way to go. So people are like, oh, obviously you can sell this on marketplace. Why? It's yours, it's unique, nobody have it, it's a real asset. Oh, cool, right? Instead of saying, get this is a token, that is a token, so people are like, oh, okay, where's the game, So I guess it's getting closer, so I'm really looking forward for that one. So the actual fun gameplay powered by blockchain. I wanted to see the actual NFT usage where you could move around your assets between different games, hopefully, or platforms. So I think that will be also amazing, yeah.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool. You can you can kind of like, if you play a game and you have a huge progress, you can take that progress into somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, Confliction Labs, I think their game Riftstorm is right now #1 on Steam in terms of downloaded demo games. So I think it's very, very cool. Definitely should try it out. It's really, really fun. It's a great game. But yeah, I agree. Make it fun, make it yours, ownership. All these kind of things, I think it's very, very nice to see, to be honest. Like now we play blockchain games, it's actually quite refreshing. Yeah. It's actually fun. Yeah, so check, there's so many out there, right?
Yeah, so many out there.
So many. All right, cool. Maybe moving over to you, Jagad. As NFT adoption broadens, what creative approaches do you think will make NFTs more accessible and engaging for mainstream audiences, particularly in Southeast Asia?
Okay, I think there are two answers. The first one, I think like the responsibility of different dApps and developers to communicate that, if it's like a game, the communication is just like a game without any kind of, Web3, blockchain, and those kind of like buzzwords. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to branding, it's very important, like when you're having like this brand, etc., how this game or how this thing able to benefit the users, right? So that's the communication part, right? And then the second one, of course, like how we able to make the platform or any kind of it, the art or anything, would be like frictionless to the normies, without any kind of complication with the wallets, MetaMask, all of these things, right? I think like Coinbase is also like a good use case. You just need to register by the email. You don't need the seed phrase and all those stuff. And then the second one, I guess, because we're in the meme super cycle as well, I think for the NFTs, they need to also ape into this token way, right? Because I think there's no liquidity in the NFT right now, right? Most of the people are into, meme tokens. I'm seeing like there's this wrong culture of memes today because I'm seeing a lot of people being the free rider when they're holding their bags, right? The meme culture should be driven by the community, right? When you have your own bags, you need to work for your bags because essentially in Web3, community is the marketing. You need to be your own evangelist to the brand, right? So when you're into meme tokens, when you have your own bags, you need to create your own memes. And that's where Mycelium came, right? Because when you have your bags, not many people knows how to use Photoshop, Illustrator, or maybe like Procreate. You create your, you go to our platform, and then there will be a basic tools for you to shield your token, to create the memes, to create any kind of art, etc. Right? And then when people hold the token, let's say enabling them to redeem into the NFTs, because back again, when we're talking about memes is a measure, a unit measure. It is a cultural transfer. And when we're talking about memes, there should be one symbol. I take memes like seriously, not into the trading part, but into like the mimetic studies. When we're talking about the meme culture, it has been happening for 1,000 years. Our language is mimetics. The way that we behave today is mimetics, right? All of this culture it's called like mimetics because we always imitate, we always try to copy. And when we're talking about memes, it wants to be viral, right? So I think that's one of the way. Let's say if there's one NFT project, you should go into like the meme tokens, and the tokens will be redeemable for, let's say, the NFTs. And the NFTs become the symbol, and it can be your PFP. So I think those are my answers.
Yeah, and for me, I'm very proud to be a Southeast Asian because we have the best meme, Mudeng, right?
Mudeng, yeah.
Mudeng, so cute, right? And I think that's like one of the things that you're talking about, like how do you transform something interesting and cute, and it has existed for a long time, and then we just like it, and then it suddenly becomes popular, and I just like Mudeng a lot. I don't know why. Okay. Anyway, last question to Darrel before we end the panel today. For gaming projects to be successful, what should be the strategy revolving their NFTs? For gaming projects to be successful, what should their strategy be for NFTs? Like in your game, how do you make your NFTs special? How do you make your NFTs valuable?
So one of our core functions that we're developing, that it's already done, but we're testing, is what we call intrinsic interoperability, where an NFT, under the consent of a developer, could provide intrinsic bonuses in games, right? So let's say you have NFT from game A, and you have it in your wallet or in our ID system. Your ID account will have or activate bonuses in games, right? So you do that, where one NFT could have multiple bonuses in multiple games. That's when demand becomes very apparent. People will start to flock to these games to buy these NFTs to try and get an edge in other games. And this creates speculation, which then creates trade, which of course naturally will create value, and that's what people do. And we as a platform, we want to create speculation to a great degree, because when that happens, every asset could, be worth something, right? And I think, with frictionless gaming, permissionless logins, it's going to be very apparent. So the key factor is, how do I make my NFTs universal? If you tie it to one game and it's anchored to one game, then your game has to do well. If not, then it's over. But if you could tie it to several different games or narratives, then it becomes stronger. Similar to memes. Now, memes is an amazing analogy of anything, right? It's tied to a narrative. There is a meme today that just launched. It's called P. Diddy's Pigeon. It's stupid, but I made like 20x. It's very stupid. It's tied to a narrative, right? It's tied to several celebrity narratives, and it just came big. In a way, NFTs are the same thing too. You have to tie narratives to it. You have to tie communities to it. It becomes strong, And the success of a game, of course, there's many factors, right? But specifically on NFTs, as long as you have the narrative, as long as you have the demand for it, which you could do across different communities, then you'll find yourself in a very interesting spot. But if you don't have it tied to anything at all, well, it becomes tricky. But games that are successful on their own, like Fortnite, all these big titles. I think Conviction Lab's great stuff. RF is a very smart guy. He's a great guy. Making these products amazing. I look up to him. So they're going to be successful, and they will be good on their own. But for games that are smaller, right, more lower cap, consider them to collaborate with other smaller games to create that bond, and that's where they'll find success.
Oh
That's my
yeah,
answer.
that's super, super good because I feel like the whole thesis of Web3 is about collaboration. How do we all work together to create something new and something cool? And I love that open-mindedness that you have. And I tried your game, it's very cool. It's very cool as well. So can't wait for it to play it myself. Anyway, guys, we are out of time. Hope that you guys learned something about NFTs and about our cool panelists today. While we may not be in an NFT super cycle, I think NFTs have matured very much since 2021. And as NFTs start to mature and become more useful and easier and become more valuable, I do see a great future for everyone in the NFT space. And so if you are a gamer, an artist, anybody who handles NFTs, please feel free to speak to, find any one of us after this panel is over. And lastly, thank you very much for listening and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause for the final panel session for today's conference. And I would like to invite all the speakers and moderator, please come to the center of the stage. We're gonna have some moment and we're gonna take some photos to wrap up this panel session. And it was the 8th panel session, which means the last session of today's conference. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, one more time. 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you very much for the moderator and also all the speakers for the interesting discussion.